And welcome back to another daily devotion. I am Pastor Roy here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Wednesday, January 31st of 2024. We've made it to the end of January. That means winter can't go on forever anymore. The end is in sight. We get through February and it's all downhill from there. And this year Easter is in March, so it's an early Easter. We are working our way through the Gospel of Mark, and today we have reached the story of the Syrophoenician woman's faith. Now, this story shows up twice in the scripture. It also shows up in Matthew's Gospel, and I did a devotion on it. This devotion is going to be very similar to that devotion because it's the same story, but it's in Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 to 28 is where we find it in Matthew. The one thing that's different there is here she addresses Jesus as Lord, but there she addresses him in Matthew, she addresses him as Lord, Son of David. That's a messianic title, which is really interesting because she is a Gentile woman. So that's really interesting. Both tellings of this story immediately follow the story about being defiled and what comes out of a man and all of that. We talked about yesterday. What is defiled? That's interesting because there's a lot of defiled going on in this story. If you really think about it, to us, it may not really seem that way, but if you're Jewish and you're listening to this story, or even you're Gentile in that time and know about the Jewish purity laws, you're going to go, oh my gosh, this is crazy stuff. There is some crazy stuff here. So let's look at Mark chapter 7, verses 24 to 30, the Syrophoenician woman's faith. And from there he arose and went away to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And he entered a house and would not have anyone know it, yet he could not be hid. But immediately a woman whose little daughter was possessed by an unclean spirit heard of him, and came and fell down at his feet. Now the woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by birth. And she begged him to cast a demon out of her daughter. And he said to her, Let the children first be fed, for it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs. But she answered him, Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. And he said to her, For this saying you may go your way. The demon has left your daughter. And she went home and found the child lying in bed and the demon gone. This is one of those verses where we go, My gosh, Jesus, what did you just say? He just called this woman a dog. Now, there is some debate about the word for dog here. Some say it means a puppy. The word that is used for dog there, I think it probably more correctly is translated as a house pet. So this isn't a street dog. This isn't some scur that's on the street, some mutt and dog that is despised and just a beggar or what have you. This is a house dog. This is a dog that people love. It's a pet. So it's perhaps not as harsh as we take it, but we also have to remember in the first century, they weren't as pleasant in their general language as we are perhaps either. So we've got to be a little careful in judging Jesus and on this one. Let's say it that way. I don't know that you could go to the extent of saying it's a term of endearment. Those that say it means puppy would perhaps say that. I don't know. But let's go back to the beginning and talk about it. He went to the region of Tyre and Sidon. That's a Gentile region again. We talked about that before, I believe. And he has entered a house. Now, it doesn't tell us if he's gone into a Jewish home. That's not a lot of Jews in that part of the world. Or he's gone into a Gentile home. Now, if he's gone into a Gentile home, oh my goodness, Jesus shouldn't be in a Gentile house. He's Jewish. He's a Jewish rabbi. What are you doing, Jesus? You've just defiled yourself, as we were talking about all that stuff yesterday. Whoa, that's not good. But now, if he's gone into a Jewish home, then he's not defiled. But oh my goodness gracious, if it's a Jewish house, this Syrophoenician woman, a Greek, she's Gentile, she's just barged into this Gentile's home, or to this Jewish home rather, and defiled the whole house because she's a Gentile. She's not supposed to be in a Jewish house. Remember the whole thing with Peter and Cornelius and all of that. And Peter, that was scandalous that he went into their house and ate with them and all of that. That was very scandalous. So here, if she's gone into a Jewish home, that's just, oh my gosh, bad, defiled. And what has she done? She's rushed into Jesus. First of all, a woman coming that near to Jesus and kneeling at his feet and all of that, uninvited, and we're not talking about other people in the context here, but there might have been other people we don't know. It doesn't say. But at any rate, she shouldn't be rushing up to him and kneeling at his feet. If she happens to touch him, certainly she's just defiled him because she's a Gentile and he's a Jewish rabbi. So, oh my word, we've just finished a story about defiled. A lot of defiling going on here. Somewhere around, no way around it, somebody's got defiled. Some guy, somebody, or something, or many things. It's there in spades, and I think people would have read that in great horror. So if it's a Jewish home and she's rushed in and done all of this stuff with coming to Jesus, and that's not being respectful of Jesus and his statue, his position as a rabbi. Some think that him calling her a dog was because partly a pushback to her impetus, because as coming in there and all of that. So that's a possibility. Or it could be that he's telling her that, I come for the Jews first. I'm not yet here to deal with the Gentiles. So he has dealt with Gentiles before. And then she mentions the crumbs, and that's when he recognizes her faith, that yes, there's enough for all. Some say that this is a foreshadowing to the ministry that's to be coming for the Gentiles, and that's probably what it really is, showing to the disciples who are no doubt are with Jesus, that even the Jesus there, even for the Gentiles. That's probably what's going on. So it is a difficult bit of scripture. It's a scripture that troubles us a little bit. Like I said, it's like, Jesus, what are you doing, for pity's sakes, my man? But when we understand, I think, a little bit more about it, perhaps it isn't as rough. I don't think, if we take it in the context that we've just discussed, I don't think it's as harsh as we read it in our first reading of it in our current time. We have to understand what's going on here, and the fact that all of this being in improper positions, the woman rushing into the house, whether it's Jewish house or Gentile house, or just coming in. Apparently, she's just coming in and uninvited. There's a lot of impropriety on her part. In spite of that, Jesus has healed her daughter. The other thing that we want to take away from this is that Jesus has come there. He's tried to keep quiet, trying to get some rest, trying to be by himself, if you will. Some time alone, and the ministry's gotten to the point where he just can't be hidden, and people are finding him no matter what. It's kind of like the feeding of the 5,000. He just he's trying to get away, and they rush to him, and they get there ahead of him. So it's a big thing. Can't put it down. You can't hide it. It's building. So let's leave it for there today. We'll come back tomorrow with Jesus and the deaf man. We deal with Jesus cures a deaf man. Have a blessed day. If you enjoy these devotions, if they do anything for you, please do like and subscribe. Come on back again. We'd love to see you here. Please feel free to share them. Please feel free to make a nice comment. And again, please be a blessing to someone today. Have a good day. God bless you. God bless you. Bye-bye.